Hey, did you hear what they're trying to do to Eminem? No, what are they doing? They're trying to cancel him. Who's trying to cancel him? Gen Z, Generation Z. They're trying to cancel Eminem. When did this happen? Where did this happen? TikTok. It happened on TikTok. Oh, okay. Okay. Can I see this TikTok? No. I can't see this TikTok. Eminem once again is launching another missile, another attack on Generation Z, the dreaded Generation Z. A few days ago, there's been this whole controversy about Eminem and his song Love the Way You Lie. This was actually started longer ago, apparently, but it's had a second wind, a boost in popularity of the subject of Eminem and cancel culture, where him and his fans are accusing somebody of attempting to cancel him for a lyric in his 2010 song Love the Way You Lie featuring Rihanna, in reference to the lyric, if she ever tries to fucking leave again, I'ma tie her to this bed and set this house on fire. Whoa, spicy. Look, I mean, I'm gonna give you my opinion on this, and then I'm gonna go look at the bigger picture. We're gonna look at the bigger picture. Eminem, he says he can't be canceled. He says he doesn't care about being canceled. His fans don't care about him being canceled. I don't think anybody at this point knows what being canceled is, but we'll talk about that later. If he hasn't been canceled already, it will never happen. That's what I'm telling you. If Eminem has not already been canceled, then he probably won't be. Because Eminem 20 years ago, this Eminem wouldn't hold a candle to him. Is Eminem glorifying domestic abuse and violence? Of course he is. Of course he is. A lot of people like to pretend that he doesn't, because he's progressed in so many other areas. But the thing about Eminem is, when he learns a lesson, he doesn't really see how that lesson connects to other lessons pertaining to racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, whatever. He'll learn his lesson once every 5 years and try to cling on to that one thing that he can attempt to ruffle people's feathers with. I think if you're going to use a song from 11 years ago as an example, I think there are many better examples, thousands of other examples better than that song, but hey, I ain't gonna fight it, because at the end of the day, Eminem does still joke about beating up his girlfriends. Eminem still has those kinds of lyrics. And yes, they're very corny. They're incredibly corny. If Eminem isn't making a good song, he's spending a majority of his time making cringy hooks and making subpar verses with the same tired lines about beating a white woman, because he's definitely too afraid to mention any other race of woman. Not that he should. This ties into what I'm saying about Eminem and cancel culture. He claims to not be affected by cancel culture, but over the past 20 years, actually 30 years, over the past 30 years, Eminem has went from saying the N-word in a couple of his songs, or at least one time that I heard. In his song Biterphobia, he says half the N-word, which counts as a full N-word from a white person. Went from saying that, shaming black women. Of course, it was a long time ago. I'm not holding that over his head now, but he's changed a lot. He's grown a lot in the past 30 years, but still not enough to where I think he deserves a pat on the back. I'm not going to pat Eminem on the back just because he learned how to not be racist or homophobic anymore. But it goes to show cancel culture does actually have a great effect on Eminem and his lyrics. As much as he pretends he doesn't give a fuck or that it doesn't affect him, it absolutely does. This man censored the F slur on his record Kamikaze a few years ago. In his Tyler Creator line, he censored the F word, which he would have never done 20 years ago. He's censoring words that he's never censored before. And now all that he's really left with is the occasional misogyny, or referencing bars that are alleged to be offensive, but that he doesn't really provide context on. He doesn't elaborate to the point where we even know what he's talking about in terms of what people are complaining about. In this new song he has called Tone Deaf, which came out a couple months ago, so it's not so much a response to this as it is being used in a lyric video, where the lyric video is more of a response to it, being that it's new. He's using that as a retaliation against the evil, the dreaded, the vile Gen Z, second most hated to the millennials, of which I'm a part of. How you doing? For what it's worth, the song is entertaining. A lot of Eminem's lyrics are entertaining. He's got good wordplay. He knows how to rhyme. His flow is hit and miss. It can be annoying. It can be robotic, but it can also flow very smoothly and be pretty entertaining and provide for quite a wild ride when listening to him. But as far as that goes, the subject matter of this song is just the same old, nobody likes me, people are canceling me, people are complaining about me, to a point where the response to cancel culture is more whiny than cancel culture itself. And again, I say, I don't necessarily think this particular song, Love the Way You Lie, is the best example, being that it's more of a storytelling track. I still am not gonna complain about it, because if you really look for these original TikToks or tweets or whatever it is, you're going to be hard pressed to even find the original source of what people are complaining about, because it has now been drowned out with Eminem stans combating against it. And it really proves that cancel culture, in this form at least, at this level, is not really a serious enough problem for people to even be complaining about. It's like you're pulling complaints out of thin air at this point and really just fanning the flames, kind of magnifying this cancel culture effect to the point where if you don't give a fuck like you say you do, then why are you even talking about it? Because if cancel culture didn't work, if it was pointless, if it wasn't able to cancel people, then why, for the past 20 years, has Eminem become increasingly less edgy in his music? Clearly it's having an effect. Clearly you give a fuck. If you didn't give a fuck, you'd still be saying the F word and maybe even the N word. Who knows? Who knows? But clearly people being up in arms about shit is having an effect on Eminem. I was in Eminem's shoes 5 years ago. I was pretty much in love with pissing people off. Not just the people that deserve to be pissed off, but people who I just think are annoying, people who would complain, people who were PC. And I felt the need to kind of call them out and complain about how uncomfortable they made me feel. I changed a lot, realizing that that shit is not the biggest problem. In fact, that shit is what's trying to combat the problem. And just because sometimes they may not articulate their point properly doesn't mean that they're wrong. I don't think Eminem is ever going to be canceled on the level of Bill Cosby or R. Kelly, and I don't really think he needs to be canceled at that level. He's not raping people, he's not drugging people and beating people, but in a way he kind of does glorify those things. So at a certain point it's kind of like, yeah, you gotta speak on it, so speak on it. In trying to find these source TikToks, I have not been able to find anybody who's actually complaining about it, because at this point it's been drowned out. So congratulations for, I guess, winning the fight. It doesn't make a difference at this point if you're talking about a song that's 10 years old. You can find shit that Eminem has said in the past year that is honestly worth calling out. In his song Nat, he talks about beating his date. Fun to listen to, but had cringy lines, as do most Eminem songs. I'm not saying Eminem should be canceled on a level of R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, or Bill Cosby. I mean, those guys are clearly more monstrous, evil people. Eminem is clinging on to this one thing that he can use to offend people, involving beating women, doing this and that. I'm talking about stuff that has happened in the past couple years that Eminem's rapped about that people haven't really spoken on. So, I mean, you could focus on that stuff. And maybe it would be a more contextual and well-articulated point for people to understand. But Eminem either really does give a fuck because he keeps changing his lyrics and being worn down by this movement, or he really enjoys cancel culture because it gives him something to rap about. And if you can't offend anybody and lose all your subject matter, then you're probably shit out of luck. The saddest part is Eminem is so versatile and so lyrically talented that he should be able to find a way to bypass any problematic lyrics he has. But I know that he still kind of clings on to the cringiness. So that's what I have to say about it. Cancel culture technically has proved itself to work time and time again, with Eminem being the perfect example. I've heard him defend gay people. I've heard him defend transgender people in rhymes. So yes, that's cool. But songs like this, Tone Deaf, serve as a cesspool for people to come on and be like, fuck yeah, fuck PC culture. They're a bunch of crybabies. Really, the people making the most noise and crying the most are people responding to PC culture. If it doesn't bother you, leave it alone. But clearly it's bothering you, and clearly it's having an effect on people. So it's serving its purpose. I, for one, am appreciative of cancel culture as much as Eminem has to be, because it's giving him shit to talk about. And it's proving itself to be effective on him and many other artists. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Does Gen Z still exist? Is it even a thing? Are these TikToks still a thing? Does TikTok exist? I don't know. Stay tuned for the next episode next Monday. No, I'm fucking with you. Subscribe if you like this video. Comment below. Let me know what else you want me to talk about, and check out some videos next to my head, or subscribe over here if you want to. I appreciate everybody watching. You already know, more coming soon. Stay tuned. Peace.